Emma's hands trembled as she stared at the letter, the words blurring through her tears. Emma doesn't love you. She's using you for your money. The handwriting was elegant, feminine, venomous, and it was in James's jacket pocket, on the morning he proposed. Her fiancé, no, her ex-fiancé now, was calling from the other room. Emma, where did you go? Come back to bed. She looked down at the engagement ring on her finger, the ring he'd slipped on just an hour ago, while she cried tears of joy. Had it all been a test? A trap? Emma pulled the ring off and set it on the coffee table with a quiet click that felt like the sound of her heart breaking. This was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. Instead, it was the day she discovered that the man she loved didn't trust her at all. But let's go back. Back to the moment when everything was still perfect. Back to before the letter destroyed everything. 6 hours earlier. Emma woke up to the smell of cinnamon rolls and coffee. For a moment, she just lay there, eyes closed, savoring it. Christmas morning. Her favorite day of the year. And this year was going to be special. She could feel it. She opened her eyes and found James standing beside the bed, holding a tray with breakfast and a single red rose. "Merry Christmas," he said, his smile nervous in a way that made Emma's heart skip. "You made breakfast?" "I tried. The cinnamon rolls are from the bakery. The coffee I made. Don't ask me which one is more dangerous." Emma laughed and sat up, taking the tray. But James didn't move. He just stood there, watching her with an intensity that made her skin tingle. "What?" she asked. "I love you. I love you too. You know that." "I do, but I need to say it. Right now, before I lose my nerve." Emma's breath caught. She set the tray aside carefully, her heart beginning to race. James knelt beside the bed. "We've been together for 5 years," he said, his voice shaking slightly. 5 years of you being the best thing that ever happened to me. 5 years of waking up grateful that you chose me. And I know I'm not perfect. I work too much. I forget anniversaries. I still can't cook anything that doesn't come with instructions. James, let me finish." He pulled a small velvet box from his pocket, and Emma's eyes filled with tears. "But I love you more than I thought it was possible to love another person. And I want to spend the rest of my life trying to deserve you. Emma Catherine Walsh, will you marry me?" He opened the box. The ring was perfect, simple, elegant, exactly what Emma would have chosen. A princess-cut diamond on a platinum band. Because James knew her. He'd always known her. "Yes," Emma sobbed, her hands covering her mouth. "God, yes, yes." James slid the ring onto her finger with shaking hands and kissed her. It was the kind of kiss that tasted like forever, like promises kept in dreams coming true and Christmas mornings for the rest of their lives. Emma pulled back, laughing through her tears. "I can't believe you proposed in your pajamas. I couldn't wait. I've had that ring in my sock drawer for 3 weeks. Every morning I woke up and thought about doing it. But it had to be Christmas. It had to be perfect. It is perfect." Emma kissed him again, deeper this time. "You're perfect." "I'm really not," James laughed, wiping his own eyes. "But I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be perfect for you." They stayed in bed for another hour, talking about the future, about the wedding they'd plan, about the house they'd buy, about the children they'd have, about growing old together. Emma thought, this is it. This is my happily ever after. She had no idea how fast forever could fall apart. An hour later, while James was in the shower singing off-key Christmas carols, Emma decided to make a real breakfast to celebrate. They were supposed to drive to her parents' house for Christmas dinner at 2, which gave them plenty of time. But first, she wanted to surprise James with his favorite, her grandmother's French toast recipe. She needed the car keys to check if they had enough gas for the drive. James's jacket was draped over the living room chair, right where he'd thrown it last night when they came home from midnight mass. Emma reached into the pocket and found his keys, a receipt from the jewelry store dated 3 weeks ago, and an envelope. The envelope was unsealed. Cream-colored paper. Expensive. The kind you'd use for a wedding invitation. Emma almost put it back. Almost. But something about it felt wrong. The weight of it. The way it was tucked so carefully in his pocket, like something precious or something secret. She pulled out the letter inside. The handwriting was feminine, looping, elegant. Emma's stomach dropped before she even started reading. James, I hope this letter finds you before you make the biggest mistake of your life. I know we haven't spoken in 6 months, but I can't stay silent anymore. Emma doesn't love you. Not the way I did. Not the way you deserve. She's using you. She knows about your family's money. She knows about the trust fund you're getting when you turn 35 next year. $20 million, James. That's what this is really about. This isn't about love. It's about security. About never having to work again. About living the life she's always wanted but could never afford on a teacher's salary. I know this because she told my sister, Rebecca. They worked together at Lincoln Elementary. Remember? Last month at happy hour, Emma got drunk and said, and I quote, "James is my ticket to never worrying about money again. I just have to keep him happy until the wedding, then I'm set for life." Rebecca recorded it. I have the audio file. I can send it to you if you don't believe me. I'm not trying to get you back, James. I've moved on. I'm seeing someone and I'm happy. But you were my first love, and I can't let you marry someone who's going to destroy you the way your mother destroyed your father. Please, look at the evidence. Ask yourself why she said yes so quickly this morning, without even asking to see the ring first. Ask yourself why she's never wanted to sign a prenup, even though your lawyer suggested it months ago. Ask yourself why she's suddenly so eager to get married after 5 years of saying she wasn't ready. I'm sorry to do this on Christmas, but better now than after the wedding, when she has legal rights to half of everything you have. With genuine concern, Vanessa. Emma's hands were shaking so hard the letter fell to the floor. Vanessa, James's ex-girlfriend. The woman he dated for 3 years before Emma. The woman who cheated on him with his best friend at his father's funeral. The woman who tried to come crawling back 6 months later when her affair imploded, claiming she made a mistake and still loved him. The woman James swore he was over. Emma heard the shower turn off. Her mind raced, trying to process what she just read. None of it was true. She didn't care about James's money. She'd never even thought about it. She'd said yes because she loved him. She'd never met anyone named Rebecca. She didn't work with anyone related to Vanessa. She taught at Lincoln Elementary, yes, but there was no Rebecca there. She'd checked the staff directory 100 times. This was a lie. An obvious, desperate lie from a woman who couldn't handle losing. But James had this letter in his jacket pocket, which meant he'd received it recently, which meant he knew about these accusations. And he proposed anyway. Unless Emma's stomach turned to ice. Unless he proposed to test her, to see if she'd say yes even though he suspected her motives, to see how quickly she'd accept, to gather evidence before confronting her. The bathroom door opened. Steam billowed out. James emerged in a towel, water still dripping from his dark hair, smiling that boyish smile she loved so much. "Hey, I was thinking we could open presents before we—" He saw Emma's face, saw the letter on the floor. His smile vanished. "Emma, how long have you had this?" Her voice sounded strange, cold, distant, the voice of a stranger. James froze. "It came 2 days ago. I was going to throw it away. But you didn't. I was going to show it to you after I proposed, to prove that I didn't believe it, to prove that I trust you. You were going to show me a letter accusing me of being a gold digger right after proposing?" Emma's voice cracked. "That was your plan? To test my reaction?" "No. God, no. To prove that Vanessa's lies couldn't come between us." "Did you mean it?" Emma interrupted, her eyes searching his face. "The proposal. Did you mean it?" "Of course I meant it. Or were you testing me? Seeing if I'd say yes even though you think I'm after your money?" "I don't think that." "Then why do you still have the letter, James?" Emma's voice broke completely now. "Why didn't you tear it up the second you read it? Why didn't you throw it in the trash and never think about it again? Why did you put it in your pocket and carry it around like evidence?" James ran his hands through his wet hair, water droplets flying. "Because I'm an idiot, okay? Because for about 5 seconds after reading it, My brain went to that dark place, the place where my father's voice lives, telling me that everyone wants something from me, that love isn't real, just transactions. But I pushed past it, Emma. I chose to trust you. 5 seconds? Emma laughed, but it sounded hollow. You doubted me for 5 seconds and decided that was fine? That you could just propose anyway and prove how magnanimous you are? That's not what I... Did you have me investigated? The question came out of nowhere, but suddenly Emma knew. After you got this letter, did you hire someone to follow me? To check up on me? James's silence was answer enough. Emma felt like she'd been punched. Oh my God, you did. Just for one day, James said quickly, just to prove Vanessa was lying. You had me followed. Emma's voice was barely a whisper now. The man I love, the man I've been faithful to for 5 years, had me followed like a criminal. I needed to know. You needed to trust me. Emma screamed. She pulled the engagement ring off her finger, the ring she'd worn for less than 2 hours, the ring that already felt like a shackle. I can't marry someone who thinks I'm capable of this. Emma, don't. I can't marry someone who reads as poison and believes enough to hire a private investigator. I didn't believe it. That's why I proposed. After doubting me, Emma grabbed her coat from the closet. After having me followed, after keeping that letter like insurance in case, I turned out to be exactly what she said I was. Where you going? Anywhere but here. James grabbed her arm gently. Emma, please. It's Christmas. Let's talk about this. Let's work through it. Emma looked at his hand on her arm, then at his face. The face she'd woken up to for 5 years. The face she'd imagined growing old with. The face she'd loved more than any other. Did you ask me to sign a prenup? The question came quietly. James froze. What? The letter says your lawyer suggested a prenup months ago. Did he? Emma, did your lawyer suggest I sign a prenup? Yes, James admitted. 3 months ago. But I told him we didn't need one. Because I refused, didn't I? Emma's eyes widened as a memory came back. We were having dinner. You mentioned it casually. Said your lawyer thought it was a good idea for anyone with significant assets. And I laughed and said we didn't need something like that because I trusted you completely and I hope you trusted me. And I said I did. But after you got this letter, you wonder if my refusing to sign meant I was planning something. You wondered if I said no because I wanted access to all your money in a divorce. For 5 seconds, James's voice was desperate now. 5 seconds of doubt in 5 years, Emma. That's not bad. It's 5 seconds too many. Emma pulled away from him. She set the ring on the coffee table. It made a small, final sound, like the period at the end of a sentence. I'm going to my parents' house. Emma, please. Don't follow me, James. Don't call. Don't text. I need time to figure out if I can ever trust you again. If you can trust me, I'm not the one. You hired a private investigator to follow me. Emma's voice broke. You kept a letter accusing me of being a gold digger. You proposed while suspecting my motives. So don't you dare try to make this about my trust issues. She walked toward the door. Emma, James's voice was raw. I love you. Please don't leave like this. Emma turned back one last time. Tears streamed down her face. I love you too. That's what makes this so devastating. Because I thought love meant trust. I thought after 5 years, we'd earned that. But apparently, one letter from your ex was enough to erase everything we built. That's not fair. Neither is being followed by a private investigator on December 23rd while Christmas shopping for my fiancé's present. She walked out into the snowy Christmas morning, leaving behind the man she loved, the proposal she dreamed of, and the future that had shattered in the time it took to read a letter. Emma's mother took one look at her daughter's face and pulled her inside without a word. The Christmas tree twinkled in the corner. Perry Como sang about chestnuts roasting. The smell of turkey filled the house. Everything was exactly as it should be for a perfect Christmas, except Emma's entire world had just collapsed. What happened? Her mother asked, leading her to the couch. Emma told her everything. The proposal, the letter, the private investigator. The prenup conversation that had seemed so innocent 3 months ago, but now felt like a trap. Her mother listened silently, her face growing more concerned with each sentence. When Emma finished, her mother was quiet for a long moment. "Do you love him?" she finally asked. "That's not the point, Mom. It's the only point. Do you love him?" "Yes, but love isn't enough if there's no trust." "Did he believe the letter?" Emma hesitated. "I don't know. He says he didn't, but he kept it. He had me followed. He doubted me enough to do those things." "People do stupid things when they're scared," her mother said gently. "Especially people who've been hurt before. I've never hurt him." "No, but Vanessa did, and his mother hurt his father. And he watched his father become a shell of a man after a messy, expensive divorce. That kind of trauma doesn't just go away, honey. So I'm supposed to just accept that he'll always doubt me? That every time some ex or enemy sends a letter, he'll believe them over me? No, you're supposed to decide if his moment of weakness is forgivable. If the man who loved you for 5 years and chose you every single day deserves a second chance after one mistake." Emma wiped her eyes. "He had me followed, Mom. He hired someone to spy on me. To prove you were innocent," her mother pointed out. "He didn't do it to catch you in a lie. He did it to confirm what he already knew, that you were exactly who you said you were. That doesn't make it okay." "Your father almost called off our wedding," her mother said quietly. Emma's head snapped up. "What?" 3 weeks before we got married. His ex-girlfriend told him I was pregnant with another man's baby. Emma stared. "You never told me this." "Because it's painful and embarrassing, and I've spent 30 years trying to forget it." Her mother smiled sadly. "But maybe you need to hear it now." "What happened?" "I was pregnant with you, your father's baby. But his ex, Rachel, made it sound like I'd been cheating. She said she'd seen me having dinner with another man, holding hands, laughing. Said she'd follow me to a motel. Oh my God! Your father believed her for about 6 hours. Long enough to drive to his best friend's house and get drunk. Long enough to call me at 3 a.m. and ask if it was true. Long enough to make me cry harder than I've ever cried in my life. What did you do?" "I told him if he had to ask, we had nothing. I said that if one accusation from a jealous ex was enough to make him doubt me, then he didn't deserve me. I gave him back the ring and told him to leave." "But you married him." 3 months later, after he groveled, after he cut Rachel out of his life completely, after he went to therapy to work through his trust issues, after he proved, day after day, that he chose to believe in me. Her mother squeezed Emma's hand. "The question isn't whether James had a moment of doubt. The question is what he does next." Emma sat with that for a moment. What if he doesn't do anything? What if he just keeps calling and texting and expects me to come back like nothing happened? Then you'll know he's not worth it. "But Emma, that man loves you. I've seen the way he looks at you. Like you're the only real thing in a world of illusions. One letter from Vanessa doesn't erase that. It doesn't erase the fact that he believed her enough to hire a private investigator. No, but maybe it proves how desperately he wanted to be wrong about his doubts. Maybe it proves he loved you so much that even 5 seconds of uncertainty was unbearable to him." Emma wanted to believe that. God, how she wanted to believe it. Her phone buzzed. James was calling for the 17th time that day. Emma didn't answer. James called 32 times on Christmas Day. Emma didn't answer any of them. He sent texts, voicemails, even an email with the subject line, "Please just read this." Emma read none of them. On December 26th, her phone rang with an unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. "Hello, Emma Walsh." A woman's voice, unfamiliar. "Yes." "This is Rebecca Chun. I believe you work at Lincoln Elementary." Emma's blood ran cold. "Who is this?" "I'm Vanessa's sister, the one she mentioned in the letter." Emma nearly hung up, but something in the woman's voice made her stay on the line. "What do you want?" "I need to meet with you. Today. It's urgent." "Why would I ever?" "Because everything Vanessa told James is a lie, and I have proof." Emma's heart stopped. What? I never worked at Lincoln Elementary. We've never met. There's no audio recording. Vanessa made it all up. Rebecca's voice cracked. And I need to tell you why, before she does something worse. I don't understand. Coffee shop on Newberry Street. 2 p.m. Please, you need to hear this. Rebecca hung up. Emma stared at her phone, her mind racing. This could be another trap, another manipulation, another way for Vanessa to destroy her relationship with James. Or it could be the truth. Emma texted her best friend Maya. Going to meet someone. If I'm not back by 4, send the police to Newberry Street Coffee. Then she grabbed her coat and headed out into the post-Christmas cold. What will Rebecca do when Emma confronts her face to face? Does she really have proof that could destroy Emma's relationship with James? And will Emma ever be able to trust James again after finding that letter? Part 2 drops tomorrow, and the confrontation is explosive. You won't believe what Vanessa has planned. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Drop a comment. Would you meet with your partner's crazy family? Like if you're Team Emma. See you tomorrow.